Today is July the 5th, 2026. So I wanting to share this video on some new finds, and some of it is to July the 1st. I tried to do this earlier, and I did not have my microphone turned on. So I was like blabbing for 30 minutes and no audio. Let's see if I can redo it real quick. I might have already shown this in my other video, but I'm going to go back over it. This is July the 1st. This is a Air Force airman standing on the Capitol 102, because this is 102 days after plane crash 8646, which was on March the 22nd. So yeah, Capitol in the Capitol's cipher, mind you. And then Jason is 102, where Watson is 911 in standard. So it reminded me immediately of 8647 when I noticed that. But since 9/11/2001 to when he's doing this, 102 mercurial years and 86 days, like 8647, when Comey posted that. He posted that on May the 15th, 2025. So in reverse, Air Force Major's 219-102, where you run it forward, his sign is 219-102, like 8647 in Latin. And yeah, impeachment's 102. And I noticed Oliver Tree's 219 died on Trump's birthday in a helicopter collision. Oliver Tree reduces to 102, and helicopter collision is 219-102. Just like 219-102 up here. And yeah, I've noticed Trump calls him Dirty Cop James Comey. Air Force, the 75th Composites 102. Removal and Mercury is a full match with the 86. And that technically made 103 mercurial years since 9/11/2001 if you count both dates. 88 Earth days to make a mercurial year. And yeah, from Paul Wellstone's memorial, because he died in a plane crash, to July the 1st. 8647 days, and he's 219, just like that dude's sign. And yeah, I keep forgetting to add that police is 102 with the police rituals, like the Empire State Building climbers and the police arresting him the same day. And yeah, Jason Watson, 86. Yeah, the 250s keep popping up, reminding me of Freedom 250. For sure. That's the plane crash on 322 LaGuardia, which matches Adolf Hitler in standard 443, the 86 prime number. Yeah, it's kind of showing the National Mall monuments. So on 102 mercurial years and 0 days, they found that second airman on Easter. Of course, Trump's 88, reminding you of mercurial years and days, blah, blah. Real quick, Henry Ford, that created the Ford Motor Company, his son created Mercury, like Mercury Ford. And his son's name is 88 in ordinal, just like Trump. You got to have 88 Earth days to make a mercurial year. But yeah, second airman and then police. Air Force Major Jason Watson, 88. United States Air Force, 88. Yeah, I'm connecting these 88s because of Hitler, and 88 days after plane crash 8646, Trump retired Air Force One. And then on June 19th, he showcased the new one, which was 89 days after plane crash 8646. And if you measure from Trump's birthday to 9/11, it's 89 days. But yeah, airman equals police perfectly. He's getting arrested by the police. And yeah, the whole 86 thing. So from when they found the second airman to when they're arresting this airman, 88 days. And of course, aviation accident is 457 in the primes, the 88th prime number. Airman is 86, like police, like Jason Watson, like Donald, like Trump. You're just taking reverse and you're switching out the two rows of numbers. So yeah, Donald Trump, 86. And crash in green is 4986, where Trump in red is 4986. Like airplane crash. And yeah, removal is Mercury. Operation Epic Fury, that was the war where the airstrikes and all that crap, where they killed the supreme leader of Iran, and the airman's name is a match. Yeah, just kind of breaking down what Epic Fury was. And yeah, Epic Fury in ordinal is 103, just like Mercury. And Operation Epic Fury 1158 in Latin, where you go to English 88 1158, Spanish 88, Trump airplane crash 1158. Yeah. And yeah, the guy they killed on February the 28th, the Supreme Leader. And don't forget Dillon Storm Roofs 209 in ordinal, like Empire State Building. Trump airplane crash 213. Switch out the rows 8647 213, and that's still a match to Trump airplane crash. From the start of the war, Operation Epic Fury, to when I'm looking at this new date, September the 29th, 2026. That's going to make 88 days after the airman's holding that sign and gets arrested. So yeah, that would make 104 mercurial years since 9/11 on September the 29th. Notice September 11th matches 8647 in a cross match. 8647 with a cross match with the sign he's holding. And yeah, I noticed Trump keeps talking about 107, like the temperature on July the 4th. And that's obviously what they had the degree number as in the news, because I heard other people say 107. But from the day before they actually did the airstrikes, when Trump said he was going to do Operation Epic Fury, to his birthday is 107 days. From his birthday to September 29th, 107 days. And impeachment is 107, 102. Yeah, that'd be 7 mercurial years in office, counting both dates. It was 6 mercurial years on July the 1st. And from April 5th, Easter, second airman found, to Trump's birthday, June 14. 70 is so connected to plane crashes. But yeah, Fury 70. And then Easter to July 1st is 88 days, like Trump. July 1 is 102 days since Flight 8646 plane crash. Yeah, the Dillon Roof thing, 14 plus 88 is 102. Dillon Roof writing that in the sand, where Comey did the 8647 thing in the sand. But yeah, 102 days after that 8646 plane crash, we had another plane crash hit a box truck. And box truck equals the tower with the 88 and 102. Yeah, that's a full match to box truck and the tower. On the 8646 plane crash, they hit a fire truck. And I'm trying to remember, in the prime cipher, is it fire truck 349, the 70th prime, and then jet airplane 349? I could be wrong on that. But yeah, James Comey indicted 349 days after he posted 8647. And that landed on Mussolini's death date. 5 mercurial years and 0 days for Trump on Easter, when they found the second airman. So yeah, that was 102 mercurial years since 9/11. Trump retires Air Force One on 6/18, 88 days after crash 8646. Showcases the guitar. Yeah, this is all connected to David Lane and everything, killing Alan Berg on June 18th. That made 1 year and 75 days. Operation Epic Fury announced the day before the airstrike on 227. That was 75 date numerology, the 75th composite 102. Trump in office 440 days when they found the missing airman. 440. Let's see what time we got. Ooh, it's so hot. Gosh. It's just unbearable. I sweat in like 60-degree weather, so it's like I feel like I'm living in Texas or something. But yeah, Missing Airman 102. With EP, you're just not reducing 11 and 22 because they're repeating digits, and of course they add up to 33. But yeah, Air Force Major Donald John Trump Sr. and Donald John Trump Jr. is 102 in single reverse reduction. Or it might be full reduction, actually, now that I think about it. I can't remember. But from September 11th to September the 29th, which I'm looking at, 104 mercurial years and 8647 reduces to 104. Like Mercurius and Twin Towers and airplane collision. You're just taking this and doing the reverse of it. Airplane collision, 275, 104. Yeah, for him to do the 8647 that exact amount of days after 9/11, that's what he's saying, airplane crash. But the 11th of September is a full match to U.S. presidential airplane, and there was something up with Air Force One and 9/11, but I can't remember what it was. And when the 25th Amendment was first used with Nixon, or no, was it Lyndon B. Johnson? I think he got sworn in on Air Force One when Kennedy got shot 70 moons before the moon landing. But anyhow, yeah, I thought that was freaking undeniable right there. 28 times 6, U.S. presidential airplane, 1488, like 102, like the racist David Lane thing. Yeah, President Donald Trump is going to be 1488 as well, but it's reducing to 104 if you reduce S one time. The 19th letter, 1 plus 9 is 10. 11, yeah, I'm about to go over that. And yeah, I noticed December the 8th, 2026 starts Brownlow Nation 1286, and that ends on January 6, 2027, the anniversary of the insurrection. Brownlow Nation 1286 because airplane crashes 1286, like 11th of September. And yeah, from Freedom 250 to September the 29th is 88 days. From Operation Epic Fury to Trump B-Day. Yeah, I've already went over that. Impeach means to run a ship aground or crash. Yeah. Staying fly needs to go away. But yeah, taking an ordinal and shifting it by one space, plane crash is 107. You see the matchup there to that. Been connecting this whole thing to 88 race codes and stuff. Did I post some comments on that? I don't think I did. No. I thought lightning was going to strike that sucker on, or yesterday, because it was a storm moving through there. Let's see what time we got. So in reverse standard, plane crash is 2837, the 412th prime number, just like National Mall. With the National Mall thing, it looks like on that tower card, kind of like the George Washington Monument. So it reminded me of the National Mall. Also at the National Mall, right there by the stupid reflecting pool that reminds you of Drain the Swamp, they had the 8647 in the grass. Then on July the 4th, they're chanting 8647, at that Freedom 250 State Fair. But yeah, Comey indicted on his death date, Mussolini's death date. They're all saying Trump's a fascist and all this. By the way, fascism is 7119, the 88th composite's 119. Benito Mussolini reduces to 70, just like Drain the Swamp, but you gotta use single reduction because of the S's. But yeah, president equals Old English 70, and just there's a whole bunch of connections to 70 and being the president. Like Ronald equals 70 and Reagan equals 70 in that Avgad ordinal I was showing you. And then regular reverse, Wilson is 70. Ronald, Wilson, Reagan, all 70. Shot 70 days in office. Assassinate 127, 170, where you go to Latin. Septuaginta's 127, 170. Latin for 70. But anyhow, yeah, I noticed we're talking about the tower card. Now we're looking at the hanged man card, also reminding you of Epstein, kind of, because he hung himself. But Benito was hung upside down like Lipindu. I'll get to that in a second. But yeah, from the death of Mussolini to Trump's birthday, 412 days. Like I was showing you, the 412th prime number is plane crash and National Mall. But yeah, you can count both dates. It makes 413 days. Just like September 11th to Paul Wellstone's plane crash memorial. Remember, from that day to July the 1st was 8647 days when the airman got arrested. So, you know, Comey posting 8647, that exact amount of days after 9/11, you're going to measure that day to July the 1st. You got that 412, you know, or 413 if you count both dates, I think. Maybe not, I'm not sure. But, yeah, Paul Wellstone's memorial to when this dude's getting arrested, 8647 days. And that was the Empire State Building, them climbing that with all the 54s and stuff, and that other plane crash that hit the box truck. So yeah, I noticed Wellstone equals Mussolini and fascist equals Lipindu. The 112s like Donald 112. Donald meaning world leader. So yeah, you know, where plane crash equals National Mall, 11th of September equals airplane crash. And then run that in standard forward, 11th of September is 1286. Like airplane crash Hebrew standard, 1286. And when Comey posted that 8647, Donald Trump Jr. was calling him out on it, saying he's calling for my dad to be murdered, which murdered equals the tower, and murdered equals ballroom. You know, this is before the ballroom. You know, and the whole ritual with Trump gathering up with those people, he's like, there's 88 people in here, and the new ballroom will fit 999, and 999 minus 88 is 911, and ballroom is 88 like Trump. And then he almost gets murdered at the ballroom, 88, matching to the tower and all that crap. Yeah, it's such a ritual. I don't see how people don't see this. And by the way, that was 88 weeks and 0 days since the second attempt to the fourth attempt, and the fourth is 88, like July 4th. But yeah, James Bryan Comey Jr. in standard equals September 11th. What a quinky dinky. Oh yeah, I don't know if I went over that. The 1077th prime is 8647, where the composite number is 1286, like airplane crash. And 11th of September, mind you. But yeah, switching out the two rows of numbers, September 11th, James Comey, perfect match. So now we're going to do this with standard 8647, Trump dead in airplane crash, full match. Donald John equals plane crash. Trump dead in airplane crash matches, you know, the racist thing. Could be coinky dinky, but I kind of doubt it with the 88s. Air Force Major Jason Watson 250 in both ciphers, like Freedom 250, like James Bryan Comey Jr. U.S. Air Force Major matches Trump plane crash in a crisscross, where that matches Donald John Trump. You know, the hanged man is syncing up to that, like Trump's in the Epstein files, you know, he hung himself. But yeah, 250 equals Donald John Trump and all that. Yeah, September, I think I've already showed that, 8647. Mussolini dead on the 118th day of the year. The tower card in Italian equals National Mall and Donald J. Trump. And by the way, 88 plus 88 is 176. But yeah, Dylan Storm Roof equals Benito Mussolini. I mean, that's just undeniable with all these connections going on. In standard, President Donald Trump dies in plane crash, 1813. Run it in reverse, fascist, 1813. Drain the Swamp, 1328. President Trump dies in plane crash, 1328. Yeah, I've showed a lot of this already, but I just kind of want to go back over it because all this information's kind of scattered through different videos, and I really think that he's gonna die in a freaking plane crash. So I was kind of wanting to go back over that, but yeah, that's all I got for now. There's more connections that I'm not mentioning, but September the 29th, and also September, really the time range September the 27th through September the 29th I'm looking at, but September the 29th is like sticking out big time for sure. Yeah, if y'all got anything to add, please do so. I just really want to figure this out because I don't think the 8647 is just some random thing, you know? Like I've said before, I've been chasing Trump death dates since like 2017 when the calculator first come up, and um I was telling my dad about it because my dad's big into religion and politics, and yeah, I was telling him about it. I was like, I think Trump's gonna fake his death, and this was back in shoot, this was before COVID when I was telling him this, and now we got all these freaking attempts on his life, dude, and I'm just like, some of that stuff's just so blatantly obvious that it's staged, and I'm just like, damn, nobody's gonna wake up to this, like they just suck right into it. But yeah, I just really want to get this right to prove that they're doing numerical rituals, because I know that they are, and that's exactly why he's posting 8647 that exact amount of days after 9/11/2001, because to me that says Trump's gonna die in a plane crash. But yeah, there's a lot to that. It seemed like in one of my videos recently I was talking about how the first president to fly was Theodore Roosevelt, and he flew on October 11th, which is 70 days after J.D. Vance's birthday, because I had that date as a prediction date for Trump last year. But anyways, shoot, I appreciate y'all watching, and yeah, if you got something to add, please do so. And sorry, I'm kind of lazy about getting back to the comments. Sometimes I'll read them and I just don't have time to reply, and I'll be like, I'll reply later, and then I forget. But yeah, I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll catch y'all on the next one.